welcome back to Daylight. Today is Monday, April the 6th. This is our 12th recording. And for those of you who are new, this is a daily podcast, a daily video series where I share one tip each day that you can actually apply to improve yourself in these very disastrous and perilous times that we're in. I want to first start by saying thank you to everyone who has joined our Facebook group. We now have close to 1,100 members in just a little over a week and a half, which is truly fantastic. I want to thank everybody who's joined and watched the videos. And as I said, in the Facebook group, which you can find, it's a private group, but you can still search and find it. So it's just called Daylight. Now that we have over 1,000 members, I'm going to start doing a weekly interview to try to bring in some additional opinions and information that can be useful. So today, on Thursday, April the 9th, we're going to be joined by Joel Valenzuela, who is going to talk about his experience living solely on cryptocurrency, which he's been doing since 2016. And in fact, I encourage you to go to the Daylight Facebook group and share your questions and feedback and commentary, because I want to make sure to tailor this interview so that you get as much out of it as you possibly can. I've done several of these videos so far with an emphasis on technology and an emphasis on decentralizing away from big technology and moving towards censorship-resistant blockchain alternatives. And I've also talked about the use of cryptocurrency as an alternative to fiat. And there have been a lot of questions on this, and I know a lot of the people in this group have no previous experience with cryptocurrency altogether. So I thought Joel would be an excellent person to have on because he's literally lived without the use of fiat currency and relying completely and totally on digital cash or cryptocurrency. I'm going to actually play you a video. He was on CNN. This was in 2018, so you can get a little sense of what we have to look forward to on Thursday.
Alison Cosick visited one town where crypto is actually legal tender. Over the years, Bitcoin's both a bull and a bear in the same day.
Bitcoin may grab all the headlines.
It's up 1,000% this year alone.
We get a large cappuccino to go.
But here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, going to be $4.63.
Absolutely. Can I pay in Dash?
Sure. Dash is the cryptocurrency that's king.
When I'm out in Portsmouth, I spend Dash just about anywhere I can, from coffee to lunch to when I go out for a night on town.
So it's going to be $14.95.
Dash means digital cash, and Joel Valenzuela literally lives off it. He works for Dash, gets paid in Dash, and spends it on everything from rent to gasoline. These are transactions welcomed in a state with the motto, live free or die.
It has some of the fewest excessive regulations. It's the most freedom-oriented, permissive, accepting climate. And so this has made a natural place for people trying to try out different things.
In his grand experiment of depending solely on a digital currency, Valenzuela began with Bitcoin, but soon turned to Dash instead. Because with Bitcoin,
if you're lucky, you can get your transaction confirmed and settled in 10 minutes. And that's a long time for a merchant environment, right? It's a long time to be sitting there and just waiting.
Each of Valenzuela's purchases using Dash took the same amount of time as a traditional credit card to go through. From coffee at La Maison Navarre, to knickknacks at the Free State Bitcoin Shop, to lunch at Fezziwig's.
You can see from the map right here, they keep on adding new sticky like every week or so. It's definitely catching on a lot in the local area.
But that's Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Legitimizing it as a form of payment globally is moving slower than...
Well, I'll shut it off there. I don't want to spoil too much of the surprise, but hopefully this will give you a little flavor of Joel's experience. And again, please comment and ask questions in advance. This is the first interview I've done actually in 3 or 4 years, so I definitely want to get as much input as possible, and we want to make sure that the questions are targeted and relevant to what you're looking for. I'm going to finish up today. I've been doing a series mostly on decentralized tools that you can use in this age of both big government and big tech censorship. After this video, I'm going to move on to a different series. I'm going to actually start talking tomorrow about how you can actually reprogram your brain and walk a little bit through the science of that and some of the experiences that I've had. But for today, I'm going to do a real quick summary of what we've gone through thus far with respect to alternatives to big tech. Library.com, LBRY, is a crypto-based censorship-resistant alternative to YouTube. You can find me there at daylight. Minds.com is a crypto-based alternative to Facebook, and you can find me there at daylight. And also, if you sign up, shoot me your username, and I will send you some LBC cryptocurrency that you can use to post your own videos on that platform. I discussed Signal as an alternative for texting and sending video and audio in an encrypted fashion. This is a free tool, and everything that I'm showing you here I don't work for any of these companies. These are just tools that I've come across or have been using myself over the years or have recently learned about. So that is the kind of the basis for the analysis here. But Signal allows you to send encrypted text and video, and in fact, you can even do fancy features like send a message and have it auto-destruct after the person looks at it. I then discussed Brave as an ad-free alternative to Google, Chrome, and Firefox. This is a piece of technology that I'm very new to. I've actually only been using it for about a week, but it is about 3 to 6 times faster than Google Chrome. Again, it strips off all of the ads. It adds extra security features, and the way that it works is you can optionally watch ads and earn cryptocurrency, a cryptocurrency called basic attention tokens, BAT, that you can then redistribute to content providers whose content you like and appreciate. So there's no ads in the middle of this at all. And if you choose, you can choose to use the cryptocurrency or not use the cryptocurrency. That's completely up to you. I then discussed Proton Mail as a superior, fully encrypted alternative to Gmail, Hotmail, and other email solutions. This is, again, something that's encrypted. The only people that see the message are the sender and the receiver, as opposed to with Gmail and whatever you're using right now. This can be encrypted by your ISP. Governments can request and subpoena the information. So this is a company based in Switzerland. Switzerland has much more favorable consumer-friendly privacy laws than the United States, and so that's one of the upsides to that. It's a free service as well for the basic service, and then you can pay more for additional storage. I then discussed DuckDuckGo as a search alternative to Google. And each of these things that I'm going through now, I did a separate 15 to 30 minute video on each. And if you go to the Daylight group, you can see I'm keeping a list in reverse chronological order of each of these videos. But basically, DuckDuckGo serves ads based on what you actually type into the search box, not based on your personal information, whereas Google literally takes everything that they know about you, everything that they're pulling from multiple sources, from Gmail, your IP address, and everything else, and giving that information to advertisers and potentially to the government as well. So they also seem to be censoring their own information about Google. So for instance, I was doing a search on people that had been banned on YouTube. Well, Google owns YouTube, and it turns out if you search for that, you get a completely different set of results. They actually prioritize not people that YouTube has banned from YouTube, but governments that have censored YouTube at the country level. And so this just gives you an example of the level to which censorship is going on with these algorithms. At the last video I did, I talked about Jitsi. Jitsi is a free, secure alternative to Zoom. You may have seen in the news very recently there are some issues with Zoom on the privacy and the security front. Namely, Zoom can automatically turn on your camera. There's this whole thing called Zoom bombing. So I think there were some congressmen that were dealing with this as well, and I think this has even happened with kids that are now doing homeschooling, where there's an open meeting ID and then somebody will get into one of these open meetings and share pornography and Nazi imagery, the whole 9 yards. And so it's a very unsettling trend. The iOS app for Zoom shares your personal data with Facebook. If you're using Windows in Zoom, there's a risk that they'll actually leak your login credentials, your username and password. And then also there's an Intercept article that expressed the idea that Zoom lied about being encrypted. Zoom has claimed that they are end-to-end encrypted, and it turns out that that's not the case. So I used Jitsi for the first time last week, and actually found it to be incredibly easy to use. It's free and open source, and the actual underlying technology was developed in 2003. So this has actually been around for a while. So I encourage you to check that out. Today I'm talking about a new service called Twetch, which is a censorship-resistant alternative to Twitter, also based on cryptocurrency. I've gone over a lot of this in past videos, but Twitter has been notorious for shadow banning people that have political opinions they don't agree with, whether it's Second Amendment issues or what have you. They also completely booted a site called Zero Hedge, which had, I think, 600,000 followers. Zero Hedge has been providing valuable information about the financial markets and about the fact that we were headed into a financial collapse. And they published something linking a Chinese scientist to the outbreak of coronavirus, and they were completely removed from Twitter. And that's just a travesty. I mean, I think what we're all finding is we're now kind of at some level of stay at home. And across the country, we're seeing that whether it's the CDC and the World Health Organization meeting with big tech and making sure that their content is prioritized first, and booting people that are even saying things that are in opposition to public health officials, regardless of whether it's accurate. I think more people are becoming aware of the fact that we need alternatives. And certainly James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, they have had a number of folks go undercover and have gotten proof on camera that Twitter does, in fact, shadow ban, which means they don't even tell you that they're blocking your content. You're sitting there posting away, but only a limited subset of people on Twitter can actually see what it is that you're posting. And so that's a pretty horrific practice that, again, often affects people that are more libertarian or conservative in political nature. I'm going to talk very quickly about Twetch, and then I'm going to just give a very simple live demo. So as opposed to Twitter, Twetch has no ads. It uses a cryptocurrency called Bitcoin SV, which is BSV, or Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, which there's a lot of, I'm not going to go into the history around that, but the claim is that the BSV cryptocurrency is in fact based on the original white paper for Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into the truth or falseness of that. You can look that up yourself. But the way that this works is it's not an ad-based model. You actually pay to post. And you also pay if you want to like somebody's content or share the content, and then they will actually receive some of that money. So it's a completely new way to do something. And so you're basically earning cryptocurrency. And in an earlier video, I talked about one of the main benefits of cryptocurrency is that it allows microtransactions. If you are using, one of the reasons that Twitter and Facebook and all of these other sites have been operating off of an advertising-based model is that it wasn't economically feasible to actually charge people for microtransactions. If you're using a credit card network, there's a minimum fee of 30 cents plus typically 2.9% of the transaction amount. That's how much the merchant is actually paying in fees. So you can't have, so Google couldn't charge you, say, a fraction of a cent, or Twitter couldn't charge you, a cent or two to post a tweet, because there's no financial framework to be able to do that. But because of how cryptocurrency works, which I discussed in the second Daylight video, we have transaction costs that are a thousandth or a fraction of a thousandth of a cent. And these systems are very robust and offer the ability to do these kinds of microtransactions. And so I'm going to skip here to a live demo Let's see. If I can get this to work. Here, okay. Why is this not showing? Bear with me 1 second. Okay, hold on. Try one more thing here. All right, hold on. Slight technical difficulty. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. Here's Twetch. So very simple interface. My account is Daylight. And you can see it looks very similar to the way Twitter works. You literally type in what you want to tweet, and depending on whether you're just doing text or whether or not you're posting an image, that actually determines how much you're charged. So the actual pricing works based on the amount of information that's stored. So I'm going to type in hello world, and to post it will cost 2 cents. So I simply go over here and slide Twetch it, and Twetch is tied to an account that I have called Money Button, which is where I hold my BSV, which I use to post and to receive money. So I slide Twetch, and it takes 2 cents out of my account, and then there we have it. Now it's posted and people can see it. You can see here I have other memes and things that I posted. So anytime somebody likes something or retweets it, I actually get paid for that. So I haven't been using Twetch for very long. In fact, Twetch is fairly new, but so far I've already earned $1.93 using Twetch. So again, the benefits here, what makes this a superior alternative to Twitter is that, one, it's censorship resistant. This stuff is on the blockchain, which is, it's a good news, bad news situation. It means that once you put something out here on Twetch, it is in the permanent record. It is on everybody's computer. It's on this decentralized network of computers across the globe, and you can't delete it, you can't remove it. So this is a true permanent record. But once it's out, at the same time, it also means you can't be censored. And instead of being a model where, as Twitter does, they sell all your information, you literally are paying to post and paying to receive feedback on the post. So I encourage you to check this out. If you are interested, send me a direct message. I only have 2. This is a very new service, so I only have 2 people that I can introduce this to. I mean, this isn't even a full thing, but I think that if I invite you to this, then you get 3 invitations and you can invite 3 people. So it's a closed system. But if you contact me, I will set you up with an account, and I will also give you some BSV so that you can play around with it and make your first posts. I want to say as a disclaimer on all of this, all of these technologies are new, and I did a web conference today, and somebody asked me, well, how do you know about all this stuff, and how do you know it's going to work? And I happen to like technology. I've been a serial entrepreneur since I was 19. I've been playing with computers forever, so I love this stuff anyway. So just as a hobby, I'm kind of investigating this whole new world and ecosystem of cryptocurrency. And to me, it really is a passion to get these tools that decentralize. But some of this is going to work, and some of it won't. But I've always found it's good to experiment with these things, and it's good to be involved in a social network at the beginning. There are a lot of benefits. If you pick it and you're right, then you actually will end up having more followers. This is why I have 46,000 followers on Twitter and as many followers as I do on various social media platforms. To a large degree, it's because I got in early and tinkered with these things. But some of them might not work, but I think it's worth your effort to actually play around with this stuff, because you really do want to have a secure and private way of communicating with friends and loved ones. And so it's worth the extra time, even if you're not, the biggest fan of playing around with different technology. It's in the times that we're in, I think it's definitely worth spending that extra effort. So lastly, I just want to summarize kind of the key takeaways from this. One, send me your mobile number. If you want to send me a direct message, your mobile number, and I will send you some Raven coin for free. Again, just to test this out. Cryptocurrency now is easy as sending and receiving a text message. It really isn't that complicated, and part of the reason I'm giving away Raven coin is to show people, particularly people that are new to cryptocurrency, how easy it is to use and how it's really a potential alternative for fiat and used in other ways. Share your library username with me, and I'll send you some free LBC tokens so that you can post videos on that platform. Contact me. As I said, I have 2 additional introductions left on Twetch, so contact me and I'll get you set up with that. And then please join the Daylight group. You can reach this at bit.ly/Daylight2020. We have almost 1,100 people. It's growing. I mean, that's just in a week and a half. And this is really the place where I'm posting all of these videos. This is where we have discussions going. This is where we're going to be posting our interviews. And so this is going to be the place that we primarily interact, but yet at the same time, we'll be pushing all of this content off to these other decentralized channels as well. So with that said, I hope you have a good night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.